The worst military operations happened between 2001 and 2003. The longest one happened in the year 2002 under the name Orion.
This is Johans. He was born and raised in Comuna 13. I was lucky enough to spend the day walking through his old barrio with him.
Well, I'm excited to go explore it, and I couldn't be more excited to do it with somebody who grew up and lived here, just beyond me, that I get to walk through this experience with Johans. So I'm excited to show you around.
Orion is used for the stars, the constellation in the sky, beautiful. But what happened here was not beautiful at all, was actually very awful. And I was 9 when this happened, and we lost a lot of innocent people in those days, also bad guys, but everyone says that most of the victims were innocent people.
To give you a little more background, Comuna 13 was an unestablished neighborhood at the end of the 1970s. No utilities and no official status. Then the population grew to over 130,000, and through the 80s and 90s was a contested territory for drug cartel groups and paramilitary groups. It became a tangle of ego-driven leaders who were not afraid to kidnap, steal, and kill. Then power tipped in favor of insurgent groups, small armed forces that contested the government. The FARC was one of those larger groups. These guerrilla groups and gangs continued to fight over this important area so they could control the drugs flowing to the Caribbean coast. I'll let Johans continue it from here.
Orion started at 1 a.m. My family and most of the people in the community team were sleeping. But for the next 3 days, nobody will be able to sleep because the operation lasted those 3 nights and 3 days.
Wow.
Wikipedia says it was 2, but I can assure you it was 3. The reason why we could not sleep a lot is because in these 3 days and 3 nights, the highest amount of peace that we had was 30 minutes.
Wow.
There was always an explosion, a shootout, people screaming on the streets. Later, the army says it's forbidden to lock the door of your house.
Oh my gosh.
You have to keep the door open because they need access to all of the houses to look for possible guerrilla fighters.
Oh.
The number one goal of the army and the police here was to destroy the guerrillas, the communist illegal armies. The steps are like a maze, you never see the end of them.
Really?
So for the special units, when they started the military operations, it was very complicated being make it to a corner without being shot.
Oh.
And that's apparently the reason why they brought the Black Hawk helicopters.
Because if you live here, you know exactly.
Correct.
Yeah, but if you're a new person.
Correct. So the helicopters were providing intelligence to the men on the ground.
So when you would see those soldiers as a kid, that was like, walk the other way, or like, oh yeah, they're here.
No, we did never like them.
Okay.
Because we needed them before the arrival of the illegal groups. When they came here, it was too late, and they became part of the problem.
Damn.
Maybe it's going to break inside a soldier, a police, a guerrilla, or a paramilitary. You never know.
Jeez.
The situation became worse because, remember, 1,500 soldiers, police, special units, and anti-terrorist units came to the Community 13. But later, at 5 a.m. the same day, another 800 men joined forces with the first 1,500.
Wow.
But these 800 men have a different uniform, and the most of them are wearing hoods. These new men, these new 800 men, are the paramilitaries of Colombia joining forces with the police and the army, which is out of the constitution. It's completely illegal, but is very real and happened here.
Wow.
So now we have 2 Black Hawk helicopters, 2 small tanks, and 2,300 men taking control of the Comuna 13. Officially, after this operation, 88 people were murdered and 92 more disappeared. But human rights organizations says the number are much higher.
Yes.
For the next 6 months, the most of the guerrillas were gone, but the paramilitaries stayed, and they started a witch hunt. So some people say that for the next 6 months, around 400 people disappeared or were murdered in the Community 13, and it's very sad. It's very sad when someone dies. It's much worse when someone is murdered, but when this person is missing, it's the worst of the worst because you don't know what happened to them.
Right.
Probably they're dead, but where are the bodies? Number one theory is that they were buried in La Escombrera. Were buried there. Happy coincidence to you. December of 2022, 3 months ago, government finally started an excavation in this place. So we have hope that they are going to find the bodies there.
So how did it come to finally turn around? The government was able to kill enough bad people?
We believe.
Before we get to the answer, look at what Comuna 13 has become today. A magical place that is full of colors, breakdancing, hip-hop artists, and tourists. Places of violence are often turned into museums with sculptures, stuffiness, and extreme sadness. Comuna 13 is the opposite of that. It is a place full of vibrant life that is honoring the dark violence that occurred here previously.
Hola. No, él es youtuber.
Hola.
The artist, when he was doing the graffiti, gave us the explanation about it. And later I approached to him and asked him more details and made the graffiti very meaningful. It's very crazy because Sunday is the quietest day in Colombia, but here is the most noisy one. That day we have the international tourists plus the Colombian ones.
Right.
This graffiti is very important to us because it represents what is the Orion operation. There you will see a beautiful Mother Earth. She has two eyes of two different colors. Green for hope, red for blood. They are opposites, but they are part of the history in the Comuna 13. The green eye is inside a yellow window. The yellow window represents the new day, the sunrise. Every new day, my family and other families in the Comuna 13 look through the window to see what happened the night before. Most of the times we found bodies on the streets. Next to the green eye, you will see the Colombian flag. In the Colombian flag, the red stands for the blood of the heroes of our independence. But this one is still bleeding because the violence in Colombia continued even after the independence.
Wow.
The whole flag is a sunflower. Next to the red eye, you will see a hand with a military uniform. But you will see there is a blue line as well. The blue line represents the politicians. Behind every military action, there is a politician making a decision. Politicians start the wars, but they never fight the wars.
Yes.
The hand is throwing two dices that tell us the place and the date when everything happened. October 16 of 2002 in the Comuna 13. The dices and the ace represent gambling. The artists consider that the government was gambling with our lives when they started the operation. Her face is made of wood and her neck are made of bricks. The two most common materials to build a house in an invasion neighborhood. Unfortunately, her neck is shot. During the military operations, we had to sleep, me and my brother had to sleep under the bed because of the stray bullets destroying the walls of our houses.
Wow.
The stray bullets took a lot of victims in this place, unfortunately.
Yes.
Next, you will see a green hummingbird with a very crazy shape.
Yep.
Representing one of two Black Hawk helicopters that were part of the military operation. The Beatles that you see down there as well represent two small tanks that were part of the operation as well. That's the reason why this graffiti is so important to us. And yes, graph, they are cousins. They made the most of the graffitis we are going to see in the graffiti tour. They grew up here in the middle of the violence and they explained to us the meaning of the graffitis. Shota became a very popular artist and now this is his job.
Oh.
He works as a graffiti artist.
Wow.
And here we have the founder of the neighborhood, Mr. Ivan Gonzalez, a very special guy.
Wow.
Bienvenido. La parte fundamental. Son 147 congresistas que toman decisiones por 50 millones de colombianos. Eso no es democracia. Democracia es que el pueblo participe.
Translate a few of the things he was telling me.
You want me to translate?
Yeah.
Okay. Believes the lack of education is the biggest problem, and that's the beginning of the violence in many ways. Mr. Ivan says it's not the same to go to learn things about, and that unfortunately education is focused on teach us how to make money and not to learn to be a human being. They don't teach us values, morality, duty. They don't teach us anything like that, honor, and they should teach something like that.
Very cool.
Because it's very important.
Yeah.
If you are educating someone to make money and not to be a real good person, so this person is not going to help to the society. And he says in Colombia we have almost 150 congressmen. and they made decisions for 50 millions of people. But these guys live in a bubble. The Congress in Colombia is full of wealthy ballrooms, everything is made of silver, gold. The reality of the country is not that, so that's why they made terrible decisions for the rest of the people, because they live in a different place.
Yes.
Mr. Ivan came here in the 70s and started to work for this place, and he founded one of the neighborhoods we are going to see today.
Wow.
That's the reason why he's an important guy to us, and all of us know him, because also he's part of a graffiti that we will see later.
Mr. Ivan, what a story.
Bienvenido.
Gracias. Gracias. Let's be proud of this.
For sure.
Yes.
However, he complained about something.
What?
He didn't include any sentence regarding the education. In the
That's what you complained about.
Mr. Ivan made a big effort to send his daughter to university. And to say thank you to him, his daughter made this graffiti.
Wow.
In the perfect spot, because he lives right here above the wall.
Oh, what a
Next
story.
to him.
So what communas are above there? Still Comuna 13?
Still Comuna 13, but two more neighborhoods, Independence 3 and New Conquerors. We are now in Independence 2.
Okay. And that would be like a level 1?
Correct. But
And like violence type, you wouldn't go into it type violence, or violence just like, don't go in there at night, if you're a local, you're okay?
no, actually for the locals it's worth to go there. Because for example, the tourists, if we are lots, they understand that. But when we are locals, they believe we are members of a gang and we are doing intelligence in that place.
Oh, jeez.
So actually for the foreigners it's safer than to us to go there.
Oh,
So it's not like crazy like you're going there and they're going to kill you, no. But if I go there, I get lost, they will approach me and say, where are you from, what are you doing here? They will check if I have a gun, something like that.
you better have answers. Yeah.
Correct.
Wow. Okay, so the hope is to like continue Comuna 13 of the art and the hip hop and then bring it to more places.
Yes, that's
Yeah.
the idea. That's the idea. Actually, where we are right now is the second cycle. Because at the end of the escalators is the number 1. Independence 1 is Independence 2.
Okay.
Tourism is new for the Independence 2, and now the people in Independence 2 have more prosperity than before the sidewalk and the tourism coming here.
Okay.
So it's working.
Yes, it's working. Yeah, it's wild. Do you think it just starts to develop slowly? Like,
Yeah,
I
it
guess
takes
like
time.
they got to be a little resistant to this. Yeah.
It takes time. Actually, between the beginning of the graffiti tour and the beginning of the piece, it took a while.
Right.
But it was worth it. The waiting was worth it because, as I say, achieving peace through art makes the peace last longer.
Yes.
And the community is part of that. Like, it's not the government that come here to bring the peace. No, like the community is working together to keep the peace.
Right.
Very loud and it's very crowded, but that is the small negative side compared to a very big positive side.
Yeah. Yeah. It's huge.
It's one of the most traditional fast foods we have here in Colombia.
Chicken
Pie. But it's not like a pie, it's actually fried. You want some spicy sauce?
Sure.
Oh, it's for the spicy.
Wow. This is crazy. What about like a health issue? How do you get people out of here?
You need to call the neighbors.
Uh,
It's not pleasant actually, that's a big issue.
and they will, walk the kid out with the broken arm or something.
Correct. They have to carry the kids. Actually, that's the reason why many, especially in the old days, many families were trying to marry their daughters with men, so the men could help in the house to fix like the aqueduct or to carry heavy stuff.
Wow.
A very colonial thing that still happens today.
Still today.
Not very common, but it still happens in some
Okay.
places.
Wow. Crazy.
The Comuna 13 is a very big place, and once there was a shootout in a different neighborhood to this one. stray bullet came here and shot to a kid, Sergio. Sergio was the special kid of this neighborhood. The best son, the best brother, the best neighbor, the best friend. Everyone loved him. But after they took him to the hospital, he died. Everyone was very sad, but especially angry. People started to protest against the government and they say we need more security, but not more police, not more soldiers. We need more education, more employment, more life quality. That's how you move the violence, how you change things. Someone say, okay, we need to build a statue to remember to Sergio. And someone say, you know what? Statues are the bathrooms of the pigeons. I have a better idea. Let's build some slides. Because the slides in the afternoons are full of kids of the community 13, and the rest of the day full of tourists. No better tribute for a kid than the smile of other kids. That's why as long as tourists come here and we explain to you that story, Sergio won't die. Because only those who we forget are truly dead.
Like, I don't bother the tourist type thing. Is that like common? Because like,
Yeah.
why is there more respect? I would think it would be opposite. There's less respect for that.
I agree. It's like that. So Carlos, Carlos is the owner of this place. He's the most popular business in the Community 13. They sell popsicles.
Wow.
Several flavors, but there are two that are very famous: mango and mango with passion fruit.
Mango.
De las dos.
Mango with passion fruit.
¿Cuánto se lleva en el negocio? 17 años. 17 years in the business.
Wow. Muy bueno.
They started with a small amount of popsicles and now they sell hasta 2,000 en un día. ¿Cierto? Sometimes up to 3,000 in one day.
Why is the most popular his?
Porque es la más popular.
Yo digo que en un concurso de los que hemos vendido más en el año,
He says
yo llegaba a vender 4,000.
he says in one day they sold 4,000 popsicles.
Wow.
The most popular ones because they are the ones that started. So we have some copies of this business here. But the original one is always the original one.
Original.
Un mango y un mango del bicho. The grandkids, the grandchildren working as well.
Is that a common thing, like family business?
Yes. You have to squeeze the cup like this because it has no liquid in the bottom. Perfect. The idea is to grab the stick and just the tip.
Oh.
In Spanish, it also has double sense. Just the tip.
Okay. All right, let me put this down.
Queremos Doña Consuelo, Mrs. Consuelo Popsicles. Mrs. Consuelo is Mr. Carlos' wife.
The turnaround begins when? 2010? 2015?
We could say 2011.
2011.
2011 is when the art became a big thing. Many organizations were created in the year 2002. To many people, it's the most dangerous year of the Community 13. So why they created organizations in the most dangerous year? It's very easy. When the times are so dark is when you need the light the most. When violence was so bad is when we needed the art the most. And that's when the art did. Brought a lot of transformation, a big change, but especially opportunities. In the beginning, the graffitis were just a peaceful revolution. They didn't have the intention of bringing tourists.
Right.
With the time, an organization had the idea of doing a tour. That called the attention. The tour became local, later national, and now it's international.
Wow.
And not only that, it's very popular
Yeah.
and enjoyable.
The ultimate healing through art.
Correct. Many of the people that were dancing today, doing freestyle, the same guides, people with business. Many of these people had the opportunity because of art to be artists. In the old days, many people didn't have these options.
Right.
They didn't have the choice. So it doesn't mean that people from today are better than the people from the past.
Right.
It means that many people that were part of the illegal groups, the gangs, the guerrillas, the paramilitaries, they never had an opportunity and they became something they didn't wish to be.
Right.
Many of them were forced to join the illegal groups, or they will be killed. Other ones have to do it because that was the only income they will find.
Right.
Today they have this opportunity, so that means that many people of the illegal groups in Medellín, Colombia, and the rest of the world, they are missing an opportunity to become what they should be since the beginning, artists. We believe the change here is not because of the military operations, but all is because people decided to move on. People decided to forgive. This became a different place because of that art. The graffitis were representing the truth the government didn't wish to tell to the people.
The art and the culture has kind of taken over from the violence and given people an outlet. And created a massive tourist. Do you know how many tourists come here a day? Is there?
I don't know how many, but I can assure you it's more than 5,000 in a weekend, more than 2,000 in the middle of the week.
The turnaround of Comuna 13 is so many things. To be faced with the choice of death or leaving your family to join a military group at the age of 12 is unthinkable. To fear walking home from school, stray bullets, kidnappings, and ransom, this is something most people only see and experience in the movies. It is amazing that we can walk these streets 10 years later. The people are proud, the art is pure, and the streets are vibrant. Go there and experience the energy, the turnaround, and the culture that will change your life. Have you been to Comuna 13? What is your opinion on the turnaround? Let me know in the comments below.
Awesome, man. Amazing information, amazing tour. Appreciate it.
Happy to know that.